Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. My name's Cody. I'm a CEO. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. So we'll consider that like a little, prelude into the live theme song. And just so you know, this theme song is different every day and performed live every day. So that's just one more thing you can be impressed by this channel. A new live theme song every day? Does everybody do that? No. And I'm taking all the credit here because it's all me all the time. And anyway, this is Too True Thursday. This is the day of the week where I tell you a truth that is uncomfortable to deal with. And you know what? It might be a little bit inconvenient. It might be a little bit, hard to grasp. You might not even understand it the first watch through, which is why you'll probably need to watch it again and again and again, at least 3 times, and maybe 4, to really get it sometimes, to really get the truth of the week. Maybe. This week's truth is that there is no freedom and you have no control, and I can prove it because the president shit himself on camera this week. Let's hit that theme song! Too True Thursdays, the day of the week where it's really hard to be real. What's up, everyone? Hello, my name's Cody. I'm a CEO. This is Too True Thursdays, where we talk about a hard truth, a hard to swallow truth. Wow, I got kind of tripped up after I said the hard to swallow thing. I'd never want to say that phrase again. Today, we're talking about how you have no freedom. You have no freedom, and I can prove it because the president pooped his pants in front of us all this week, in front of the whole world. The United States president pooped his pants, and this is a president. This is a president who's broken the Constitution a number of times. He's an awful person, and he should be in felony jail, and he should probably be beaten up by the biggest kid in the schoolyard. And he's on the Epstein list, and he's all over it. He's on the Epstein list more than Jeffrey Epstein's on the Epstein list. He's clearly one of the most powerful people alive right now, and even he can't help but poop his pants. You think he did that on purpose? Do you think the president pooped his pants on purpose? And look, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you haven't seen the video where the president, who never ends a press conference early, you hear a little wet fart sound, and he's got a whole army of people behind him, and this blonde lady behind him goes like, oh, because she's trying to figure out like how to handle the fact that the president clearly just pooped himself in front of her, because she can smell it too. She can smell it. You can tell. Anyway, there's a press conference, and like someone is like mid talking about something, and then you hear a little come right out of Donald Trump's ass. Sorry, I got some spit on the mic, so if you hear that little scraping right now, that's just the spit. So yeah, Donald Trump pooped his pants, and like immediately upon him making these super wet sounds, okay press, thank you press, thank you. Yeah, oh my god, I hate how they do that. I've never seen an administration handle press this, and maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention when the Biden's press team was like, thank you press, thank you press, thank you press. But real charmers on the Trump team. But right, so in America, I think one of the most important like sort of national myths is this idea of individualism and individual freedom, and like hands off my guns, and like screw big government, like screw communism. I can do this all by myself. Pull yourself up by your boot. There's a very like there's this palpable sense of people, sort of deciding in America that the best way to go about life is to be able to prove that you're a strong, singular presence who can do whatever you want, and no one can tell you what to do, and you have complete and utter control over your life, and how dare the big government get in the way, which is absurd, because that's like, so this is what is, this is a thing I think that blindsides a lot of people, right? They convince themselves that this sort of like, notion of freedom and individualism and individual freedoms are like married to each other, right? And that like you can't have any freedoms if the society that you live in doesn't like at all points work on, supporting the individual in his own pursuits, to the point where and this is what that means really, is that the government shouldn't help anybody, because everybody is capable of doing anything. In a land of total freedom, right? You don't need the government at all, because you're so free, you can do whatever you want, and we're all powerhouses. We can do anything, right? But that's not true. Okay, this individualism, because that's what they try to convince, I think, a lot of people who like especially fall for like sort of like Republican rhetoric kind of stuff. The idea that, like, for example, like communal, like welfare programs, right? Social welfare programs are actually more uplifting to your person and give you more freedom than, for example, like living in a society without welfare programs, because everyone's a rugged individualist who can do whatever they want. That's not how things happen, okay? The government subsidizes every rich person, right? That's why they all want to do AI right now. You all notice all these rich people doing AI, because that's the code word that these rich people need for the government to subsidize them, right? Like, if I wanted to start an AI thing, I wouldn't get any money about it because I'm not rich, right? But if I were rich and I wanted to get richer, I could say, hey, government, I think I'm working on an AI. And then, like, as long as I'm like a corporate elite, the government will be like, here's $1 billion for your AI, like, fuck off, right? And even if you're one of these people, right, because this is the individualism, that billionaire mindset is the individualism that America really, like, gets its fucking nuts off to. Even if you are one of these people, one of these millionaires, one of these billionaires, one of these industrialists, one of these AI hive mind jerk fucks, you could still shit your pants. You could be the president of America. You are not free. You know why? Because of incontinence. Your body will be like, time to shit, right? And now you're shitting yourself. Okay? There is no freedom. There is no freedom. And this is why it's more important than ever to try to help your community, right? Because this is the thing, right? In America, when people say freedom, they really mean, what kind of rice-a-roni do I want, right? They don't want the government deciding what they should eat, or like how I should, do this or that or the other thing, right? But at the same time, it's like, you sacrifice so much by not letting your government guide your community. You know what I mean? Like, we sacrifice so much money from our own pockets, for example, to provide health care that could easily be provided for by the government and by the people who are benefiting off the work that you produce. Why am I not getting paid for this? It's because some billionaire who runs YouTube doesn't need to pay any of the people who make content for the site if they so choose, unless they make enough ads, unless they get enough eyeballs on your ads, So just keep that in mind, right? This has been the Inconvenient Truth. We got my theme song, my exit song coming up in 30 seconds thereabouts. And yeah, just remember, you can choose whatever flavor of rice-a-roni that you want, but until we start taking responsibility of ourselves as a collective, you got no freedom and no support. Thank you for shitting your pants, Don. Stupid. Oh, I got like 8 seconds left. This is so awkward, right? Just gotta fill this time with something. like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. This is also a live song. Like and subscribe, and maybe comment and like and subscribe, comment and like and subscribe and comment. Or, do whatever you want. I don't care. See you tomorrow, everybody. I love you. No, don't.